Good morning, boys and girls. All right, we are on to chapter 35 of Front Desk. From where we left off, the Mia and her father went to a stationery store. He bought a very expensive pencil for her. That was worth, I believe, $4.99, $5. And she's going to use that as kind of her inspiration when she does writing. So her father was kind of trying to make everything better after her and her mom had that little disagreement. So here we are at chapter 35. When we got back to the motel, there was another Chinese immigrant waiting for us. Word was really getting out about the baseball cap. Oh boy. Uncle Fung was an animated guy with thick eyebrows that moved up and down as he talked. He told us that he used to be an accountant back in China and now is working as a waiter over in Riverdale. That was until he got fired. You won't believe my boss of mine, he said at dinner. This time my mom made lettuce, literally just lettuce. Thanks to Mr. Yao withholding our wages, it was all we could afford. But stir fried with a little garlic and soy sauce, it actually wasn't half bad. What did he do? He fired me for scratching my nose. What? I said, really? That and the fact that a customer slapped me, which, by the way, was completely uncalled for. A customer slapped you? My mom asked. She was crazy. I honestly don't know why she slapped me, he said. All I said to her was, hey, baby. My mom nearly choked on her tea. Well, no wonder she slapped you, my dad said. Uncle Fung put his chopsticks down. What's wrong with hey baby? Americans are always saying hey baby. It's what you say when you greet somebody. Everybody knows that, he shrugged. It's what you say when you greet a girlfriend or a boyfriend, my mom told him. Uncle Fung turned bright red. Are you serious? He said. My mom nodded. Uncle Fung got up and started pacing the room. He put his hands on his face. Oh, I had no idea, he said. So many people were saying, I just thought, my dad chuckled. It's all right, buddy. Happens to the best of us, he said. I cannot believe this. I was saying it to almost everybody, Uncle Fung said, scratching his nose. Something about the way he was scratching his nose caught my eyes. He was scratching it with his middle finger. Uncle Fung, I asked. Yeah? He turned to me, his middle finger still on his nose. From a distance, it looked like he was flipping me off. Oh my. What is it? He looked so innocent and earnest at the same time, so ridiculous. I just had to help him. That night, I made Uncle Fung a pamphlet of American phrases and what they actually meant. Mia's Book of American Phrases and Customs. All right, we got a whole list here. You guys ready? All right, here we go. Start taking notes. Get your post-it notes. This is how we know what's appropriate. Are you ready? When you hear get out of here, do not actually get out of here. It's just something people say when they're surprised. Like, get out of here. If someone says something is a piece of cake, it doesn't mean they're going to give you a cake. It just means, yeah, it's a piece of cake. Easy. Do not be alarmed when you hear the phrase riding shotgun. Doesn't mean they have a gun. It means to sit next to the driver in the car. Don't feel insulted when you hear the word dog, as in, what up, dog? How you doing, dog? Dog means friend. If someone is calling you a dog, they're not being rude in calling you a dog. Okay? All right, dogs? If something is sweet, like sweet Carl, it means it is good. It does not mean it's literally tastes sweet. Similarly, if something is sick, as in sick bike, man, it also means good. I know it's a little confusing. Now, here's one. The word dude is a slang term for a male friend. It should not be used when addressing the police, your boss, a senior citizen, Also, do not stick your middle finger up for any reason in America because the middle finger is considered of offensive. Use your index finger or pinky instead to scratch your face. Oh, don't take your shoes off everywhere. Americans like to wear their shoes inside the house. Go figure. Do not comment on how someone's appearance has changed. I know it's a compliment in China to say, "You look like you've gained weight," but trust me, Americans do not like it. All right. Sounds like a good pamphlet. I might need it. Pamphlet went on and on. I tried to be as detailed as possible and put in as many phrases, gestures, and idioms as I could think of. Uncle Fung was very grateful when I gave him the pamphlet. He said he would study it and memorize the rules before he applied for his next job. I also showed him my notebook with all the names of the restaurants the other immigrants had gotten fired from, so he knew where to avoid working. Uncle Fung copied the restaurants down and added some names of his own. He also added some comments next to the other stories, such as, "Hang in there," or, "And I feel your pain, brother." I smiled. I liked how my little notebook was becoming a message board for the immigrants. Uncle Fung left the next day as the first of many jack o' lanterns appeared in Mrs. Q's window. It was almost Halloween, and I hadn't really thought anything of it, but then I started making a killing in tips. I guess people felt sorry for me because every single customer who came through on Halloween put $5 in my jar. They probably thought I should be out trick or treating instead of working in a motel. You know who else thought I should be out trick or treating? The Weeklies. "Hey, it's Halloween," Mrs. Q said. "You gotta go trick or treating on Halloween if you're a kid. You just gotta." "I don't have a costume," I said with a shrug. "No costume, huh?" Mrs. Q asked. "Be right back." An hour later, Mrs. Q came back, all wrapped up in toilet paper. So were all the Weeklies. They were mummies. My face brightened up when I saw Hank. It had been a while since I saw a smile on his face. "Come on, Mia," Hank said, handing me a roll of toilet paper. "Let's get you some candy." I took the toilet paper and hopped off the stool just as my parents came into the office. "You might wait 10 minutes," my mom said. "Why?" I asked. "I hear our cable's down," she said with a wink. A small smile escaped from my lips. Though I was still mad at my mom for calling me a bike, I thought it was very cool that she had called Lupe. Lupe, the Weeklies, and I walked up and down Meadow Lane under the moonlight sky, all dressed up as mummies. Lupe and I giggled through the toilet paper, going up and down on the doorbells. As we walked, I asked Lupe whether there was Halloween in Mexico. She said there was something similar called the Day of the Dead, when when people would pay their respects to deceased loved ones by visiting cemeteries and building altars called ofrendas. At the mention of deceased loved ones, Lupe got really quiet. I guess she was thinking about her grandmother. "Are you going back and visit your grandmother?" I asked her. Mexico is so close, just a few hours away by car. Lupe shook her head. "I don't know," she said. She didn't seem to want to talk about it. "What about you?" Mrs. T asked me. "You guys have Halloween in China?" I laughed. "No way," I said. I told Lupe and the Weeklies about our first Halloween in America, how we didn't know what it was and were so freaked out by strangers coming up to our door dressed as goblins and witches that we turned all the lights out and hid behind our sofa. Lupe laughed so hard, bits of Reese's peanut butter cup came flying out of her mouth. I smiled. In total that evening, we got 18 candy bars, 5 Reese's peanut butter cups, 27 Tootsie Rolls, 5 packets of Skittles, and 6 lemon heads. Hank said we did well. He explained that when it came to candy, there were multiple tiers. At the top tier, you had your full size candy bars, followed by your mints, junior mints, peppermint, patties, etc. and all the way down to the bottom tier, which were lollipops and that sort of thing. You know what you guys are? I asked the weeklies, and Lupe, what? Top tier friends, I said. Hand in hand, we walked back to the motel. And that leaves us to chapter 36 for next time. All right. We'll see how that goes. All right. Have a great day. All right.